will now convene open session for the board. There was no reportable action from the closed session. At this time, Trustee Selvage, would you like to do the pledge?
Certainly. Place your right hand over your heart. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to ask if there are any requests for reordering of the agenda items. If no requests for reordering of the agenda items by the trustees, I'd like to request a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Any second? Approved by Trustee Fellows, seconded by Trustee Brown. Advisory vote?
Aye.
All those in favor, press your button.
This is the agenda.
Do you know, my button's been out for a month.
Oh, okay, a little technical support. Okay, but we know
Put your thumb
we
on
know Trustee Fellow is approving this. All right, so unanimously approved. Okay, we are now on item C, introductions and recognitions. Are there any? None? Okay. Do we have any public comment on any of the non-agenda items? Trustee Fellow? Any items?
Nothing.
Okay. Well, just moving along, we're now on item E. So may I have approval of the minutes for meeting number 15?
Move approval of the minutes.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Brown, seconded by Trustee Osterling. May I have the advisory vote?
Aye.
All those in favor, press your button.
Going to abstain. Is that yellow or white?
I vote yes.
That's
Yellow.
yellow. Okay, so all in favor except Trustee Martin, who is abstaining. All right. We are now on item F, approval of consent items. Are there any items which the trustees wish to pull? May I have a motion to approve the consent items?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Moved by Trustee Hillsman, seconded by Trustee Brown. Any discussion? Advisory vote?
Aye.
All those in favor, press your button.
Aye.
Okay, we know Trustee Fellows green. All right. Motion moved. Motion approved. We are on item G, authorization to transmit the fourth quarterly financial status report. President Meridian.
It is the recommendation to the Board of Trustees to authorize the transmittal of the fourth quarter financial status report to the Chancellor's office as required under AB 2910, and we do that every quarter.
May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Any second?
Second.
Moved by Trustee Fellows, seconded by Trustee Hilsman. Any discussion? Advisory vote?
Aye.
All trustees, press your button. Okay, motion approved unanimously. Item H, approval of the tentative agreement between the California School Employees Association, CSEA, Chapter 777, and the Pasadena Area Community College District regarding the Successor collective bargaining agreement for the 2014-15, 2016-17 academic years. President Meridian.
As you know, we have been working very closely with CSEA over the past year to reach a tentative agreement, and we have gone over the agreement. Our Department of Human Resources, our negotiators have met, and we have reached this tentative agreement, and we recommend that the board approves it.
Motion to approve.
Have a second?
Second.
Moved by Trustee Fellows, seconded by Trustee Selvage. Any discussion? Advisory vote?
Aye.
All those in favor, press your button. Motion passes unanimously. Item I, adoption of Memorandum of Understanding between the Pasadena City College Faculty Association, PCCFA, and the Pasadena Area Community College District regarding health insurance plan enhancement for dental and vision coverage. Superintendent?
We have been working with the Faculty Association to reach agreement on some changes in the dental and vision plans. We are adding an additional option in the dental plan, and we are also changing the vision to reflect new prescription, new examination, and new sets of glasses and contact every 12 months as opposed to every 24 months as the program is right now. And we recommend that the board approves this.
Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
So moved by trustee Brown, seconded by trustee Fellow. Any discussion? Advisory vote?
Aye.
All trustees, press your button, vote. Oops, wrong one. Okay, motion passes unanimously. Item J, adoption of Memorandum of Understanding between the Pasadena City College, California Federation of Teachers, PCC, CFT, Local 6525, and the Pasadena Area Community College District regarding health insurance plan enhancement for dental and vision coverage. Superintendent?
This is the same memorandum of understanding but this time with the California Federation of Teachers for exactly the same areas, that is vision and dental, and we recommend that the board approve it.
Motion to approve.
Any second?
Second.
So motion made by trustee Fellow, seconded by trustee Osterling. Any discussion? Advisory vote?
Aye.
All trustees, vote. Motion passes unanimously. Item K, adoption of Memorandum of Understanding between the Pasadena City College, California School of Employees Association, CSEA, Chapter 777, and the Pasadena Area Community College District regarding health insurance plan enhancement for dental and vision coverage. Superintendent?
It's the same enhancement, but this time with the CSEA, and we do recommend that it is approved.
I have a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Fellows, seconded by trustee Brown. Any discussion? Advisory vote?
Aye.
All trustees vote. Motion passes unanimously. Item L, adoption of Memorandum of Understanding between the Pasadena City College Police Officers Association, POA, and the Pasadena Area Community College District regarding health insurance plan enhancement for dental and vision coverage. Superintendent?
Once more, it's the same enhancement, but this time with the Police Officers Association, and our recommendation is for the board to approve it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Fellows, seconded by trustee Selvage. Any discussion? Advisory vote?
Aye.
All trustees, please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Item M, adoption of Memorandum of Understanding between the Pasadena City College Management Association and the Pasadena Area Community College District regarding health insurance plan enhancement for dental and vision coverage. Superintendent?
Once more, it's the same enhancement with the members of the Management Association, and our recommendation is to approve it.
Motion to approve.
Second.
So motion made by trustee Fellows, seconded by trustee Brown. Any discussion? Advisory vote?
Aye.
All trustees, please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Item N, adoption of Memorandum of Understanding between the Pasadena City College Confidential Association and the Pasadena Area Community College District regarding health insurance plan enhancement for dental and vision coverage. Superintendent?
Once more, it's the same enhancement, but this time with the Confidentials Association, and our recommendation is to approve it.
May I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by trustee Osterling, seconded by trustee Brown. Any discussion? Advisory vote?
Aye.
All trustees, please vote. Hey, are you, little slip there, okay. Motion passes unanimously. Item O.
May I, please?
Oh, yes, trustee Brown, I'm sorry.
I could not just go through this without making a public, I have to say something because this is really, to me, this is a tremendous move. Having all the different unions and workers and superintendents and the negotiation. I've been on the board for quite a while and I've never seen this. So I must commend all the team, Dr. Meridian, and everyone for getting this through. Now we can focus on other things. So thank you so much for such good and diligent work.
Thank you for those remarks, trustee Brown. I think that echoes all the sentiments of the entire board. Thank you. Item O, authorization to expend Measure P funds. Superintendent?
Members of the board, as you are aware, we have $1,253,919 of Measure P money in a holding account. We are asking the board for authorization to spend that money on air handler upgrades and access compliance site improvements.
We have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Any second?
Second.
Move.
Just a quick discussion.
Yes, let me just call out who made the motion. So, motion made by trustee Fellows, seconded by trustee Hilsman. Discussion, trustee Osterling.
Just real quickly, I wanted to make note for the record that this expenditure was reviewed by our Measure P Oversight Committee, and they recommend that we approve this.
Thank you, trustee Osterling. Trustee Selvage.
Yes, I attended the last Measure P Oversight Committee, and President Wow was out of state, so I attended in her place, and this came up. We need to make sure that we spend the money from Measure P within a certain time frame, and that requirement to spend it within a certain time frame and avoid a penalty that the feds through the IRS would impose on us if we didn't was discussed, and so everybody understood that we needed to move on this. It's the last slice of the Measure P money that is not yet earmarked or allocated to a particular set of projects, and Reuben Smith had a whole list of projects that would qualify and be legitimate expenditures under Measure P, and everybody was glad of that, and it's a good deal more than $1,300,000, but these were the highest priorities and the best fit.
And then I also, just to add, that I attended the meeting as well, and I just want to commend the Measure P Oversight Committee. We have strong oversight of all of these bond measures, and it's important that we continue that practice. Thanks.
Thank you, trustees. So we've had discussion. May I have the advisory vote?
Aye.
All trustees, please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Thank you. Item P, dual enrollment agreement between Pasadena City College and Temple City Unified School District. Superintendent?
Madam President, is it possible for me to address all three of them, P, Q, and R, because it's the same contract for dual enrollment, but with three different school districts. And today we cannot vote on these three items because the Chancellor's Office requires us to put them under action items recommended for approval twice, and we vote on them at the second meeting. And we have them today for the audience to take a look at them, and if you have any comment, you can share them with us. As you all know, the governor signed AB 288 into law, and we did have at Pasadena City College an event with Assemblyman Holden present, and we have been working very closely with the three school districts: Pasadena Unified School District, Temple City Unified School District, and El Monte School District. As you know, the courses won't start until September 12th, and this gives us ample time to have the board approve this contract before the courses start on September 12th. Our next board meeting, when these contracts will be approved, will be on September 6th, right? What we are doing here, I want to thank Vice President Dr. Cynthia Olivo, Dr. Ophelia Arellano, Dr. Kathy Scott, for the work that they have done in bringing together not only the superintendents and the principals, but also faculty and staff from Pasadena City College and the three school districts, so that we can work together as a team, having the best interest of the students of our district, to set the courses that we will be offering in the schools, the length of those courses, and the pathway that we are creating to enable the students taking those classes, not only to take those classes, but also to know in what direction they are going to go, so that when they go to college, they can go straight into a program, a degree program.
Are there any comments by, this is not a motion, so are any comments by the trustees? Trustee Selvage?
Right. We've talked about this sort of on and off in sort of bits and pieces previously, and you know, our own Chris Holden was the standard bearer for getting this passed, and in my view, this is a really big deal, and now with the law passed and signed and all that, we can implement it. And I had some questions, just because it's been sort of spotty, talking about parts of it. With some indulgence, I had some questions that, you know, will help me kind of understand how as we launch it now under the new under AB 288, what it would look like. And one of them relates to costs for PCC and costs for PUSD. And I had a couple of PUSD school board members call me back in July saying, you know, we're going to pass this and get it approved all around so we can implement it. They seem to be a little bit unclear on the costs that were going to be involved, like who was going to share what. I read the MOU and the instructional agreement, the two parts. The instructional agreement had sort of a blank for the dollar reimbursements, this sort of thing. When will the dollar figures be sorted out for that?
I'm going to ask Dr. Olivo to provide us an answer on that.
Yes. Dual enrollment under AB 288 allows either the college or the K-12 to collect apportionment or ADA. So under the MOU, we have to determine which system will collect the fees back from the state. And under these partnerships, we've decided the college will collect apportionment, the school will not collect ADA. How we will share resources is our K-12 partners are providing high school teachers who meet our minimum qualifications and go through our hiring process, so that the compensation for the teachers is $500 per unit for every course that the teacher is instructing on our behalf. So this resource sharing, I'll give you an example.
Excuse me, the cost is on the school districts.
The cost to compensate the teachers for teaching our course is $500 per unit for us to pay out of the apportionment we're generating from the enrollment.
Through the FTES calculation.
Exactly.
Right. Okay.
Yes. So we would be able to claim apportionment and then put that back into the program, while also ensuring that the administrative costs, the legal fees, and such would be absorbed through the apportionment that we're collecting from the state.
And the school districts will pay for the books?
The school districts, yes, would pay for the
so
books.
School districts pay for the books. We pay for the teaching at the $500 per unit from the FTES that we can calculate and generate by having those students taking those courses.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. And then any administrative would be, well, covered by the FTES like it is for regular students.
Correct.
Yeah, okay. Let's see, are there, I got a list, and all the trustees got a list of courses that are slated for the fall and the spring semesters at the different districts. And are all of these courses courses that would be taught here at PCC, or that we are now teaching, and now we're just going to teach others, additional ones there?
Correct.
Yeah, okay. And are any of those courses that wouldn't constitute units that a student here at PCC could, if they took the course here, could transfer to CSU?
Some of them are, yes. The career technical education courses may not be transferable, and we are offering some of those courses.
Yeah.
But they do lead to a career technical education certificate.
The courses that don't transfer, they don't transfer because they don't meet college level criteria.
Yeah.
They don't transfer because there are no equivalent courses in the CSU system.
Well, yeah, that was the question. So we've got some courses that are college courses. They count toward the AA degree, but they're not a type of course that's taught at CSU, so they're not going to, so you might be short a freshman or a sophomore course if you didn't take additional stuff.
Correct.
Okay. And how many students do we have now, or did we have most recently in dual enrollment, and how does that compare with what we are projecting for this fall?
Sure, that's a great question, which I'm very pleased to share. 3 years ago, when the board members indulged us in the opportunity to start our pilot program, remember we had 80 students involved in the pilot. And then we quickly scaled to 300, then 800, and now we're going to be at 1,600 students enrolled in dual enrollment classes in these 3 school districts. And additionally, we're going to have 200 students participating in articulated course credit. So this is where students take an equivalent course and then they take a test at the end and are awarded credit. So overall, we'll have 1,800 students involved in our educational partnerships.
As opposed to 80 most recently.
Correct.
Okay, so we're up by 1,720.
Yes.
Okay, that's a pretty good jump. And I suppose the law covers this. Are we allowed to enter into agreements like this with school districts that don't have part of their district in our?
We're not allowed.
No,
We can't poach, or, okay.
We've been approached by districts that are outside our district, but we've been
course.
warned.
Martha's already got his hand slapped. We know that.
Okay, those are my questions.
Thank you, Trustee Salvage. Trustee Brown.
Were those classes listed? I didn't see them, that we're offering.
It was in an attachment that was sent after the board
Oh, okay.
questions.
Okay.
Trustee Hilsman, did you have a question? Oh.
John's ahead of me.
I was asking for clarity on the availability of the local district to limit the class attendance to its own students, or are they allowed to do that now, or can?
Yes, it's one of the beneficial features of AB 288 is we are now able to close the class specifically for the high school students.
That works on closed campuses.
Right.
That was the reason for that.
Yeah.
Trustee Hilsman.
So I just wanted to echo what Trustee Selvage had said, the shout out to our Assembly member, Chris Holden, but also to all the community members, the education community, trustees, administration, folks who worked on this bill. You know, sometimes we think about politics and we think about public policy and we really don't, it seems abstract and there's a bill that's coming down, but to see it in action here, where you talk about, was it 1,600 students who are going to benefit from this? This is a really rewarding experience for all of those of us who are involved in public policy, and it's also a lesson to show that you really can make a difference through legislation and deployment of resources. So just congratulations to everybody who's participated in this long-term effort. Thanks.
Madam President, Dr. Olivo, can I ask you, do we have any plans to increase these agreements with other?
Yes, we do. We have worked just recently, last week we met with South Pasadena administration. And so it is a lengthy process. It does take around 6 months to get through the contracts portion. And also identifying the teachers, putting the teachers, through the hiring process. So we will continue to reach out to our K-12 partners so that we can engage in more of these dual enrollment agreements.
I'd like to see it in Arcadia. Thank you.
Yeah.
Trustee Selvage.
Yes, so with the high school teachers who are certified to teach community college courses, are they carried on our books as an adjunct?
Well, instructional service agreements are different than adjuncts on our payroll, for example.
Oh, okay, I remember there was I had forgotten, there's a statement in here that says the high school teachers who are teaching will remain employees of the district. It's just a reimbursement from us to the district, okay.
Correct. Although I would like to point out for the public and the members of the audience, they are teachers who meet our minimum qualifications and undergo our hiring procedures.
Thank you. I also want to echo many of the comments made by the board. And early on, when we first brought this to the Assembly member, and we worked with Alex Zuko, so many of you remember her. She just recently went on to the California PTSA. But yes, we're very fortunate to have a great champion in Assemblymember Holden. But I do want to thank the PCC staff. I think you guys have done great work. Very pleased to see the amount of progress that we've made, and we're looking forward to more progress on this.
One other?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's magical. If I read the agreements, and I could only find a little tweak here and there where they were different. I think this is magical that you got 3 school districts to basically agree to a standard form contract.
I wish it were as
Not
easy as
easy.
magic.
Well, I know, yes, I know.
Thank
But,
you.
yeah.
Yeah, thanks so much. There was also an article today in Southern California Public Radio celebrating our agreements with PUSD. So take a look at that.
Good job, good job. So just as a matter of form, President Verde, in the future for these types of items, would we see this under information and it would be called first reading? Okay, good. Okay, so no approvals needed on this. We're now on information items. Item S, the President's Advisory Council on Educational Facilities Master Planning.
Well, at the last meeting, the board voted for the creation of a subcommittee of the board on facilities and educational master plan. And I had also informed the board that I would be creating an advisory council that would comprise of shared governance groups of the college, that is faculty, staff, classified students, and everything else. So what I have given you here for information purpose is the composition of that advisory council on education and facilities master planning. And we will have more information on that for you after we convene a meeting of the subcommittee, and also after that when we create the advisory council.
Any questions for the trustees?
I have a question.
Trustee Brown?
So Dr. Verde, so when do you plan to organize the first meeting?
We do hope that we will have a first meeting sometimes in the fall semester once the faculty get together, because faculty will have to appoint their members on that, and the students as well as the classified staff will have to
So
appoint
as
members.
to the trustees that I noticed you said we will have one representative.
Yes.
So when would you want us to submit the name of the person?
Let me get back to you on that, Trustee Brown, because we
okay.
have not
Okay,
worked it out yet.
all right.
Good answer.
So I have a question also. So I see that 3 trustees will also sit on this committee. So will those 3 trustees in addition be appointing someone, or will they take the place that they will be representing their area?
Right now, the way we have it right now is the subcommittee members will be there, as well as the members who will represent their appointees who will represent each of the trustee areas. That's what we have right now.
This is the general community,
Yes.
meaning the trustee
Yes.
area.
Okay. Any other questions? Thank you very much, Dr. Verde. And item T, Superintendent's Report.
Well, thank you very much, President Wah. I just want to let you know that the state of California currently in the community colleges, there are many districts that are having significant enrollment problems. I do believe that currently 29 districts are in stabilization, right? They cannot meet the enrollment target that the state gives them. 29 out of the 73 districts, right? 72, 73? 72 districts. And Pasadena Area Community College District has done significantly well. We are currently at close to 90% capacity, and we have 10 more days before classes begin on August 29th. Our head count currently is a little bit more than 20,000 students, and that includes about 1,500 non-credit students. And I want to again to thank our faculty, our staff for the work that they've been doing in the classroom to give Pasadena City College the name that it has, and that encourages students to come here bypassing the community colleges where they live. Last Thursday, I was pleased to attend a briefing with Pasadena Mayor Terry Tornek and other educational leaders from the city. The mayor shared a vision for Pasadena that includes an increasing investment in education as a means for driving innovation and employment in our area. We are pleased to know that the city is working with the institutions of higher learning and the K-12 districts to nurture the educational infrastructure of this area. If you want, in a similar vein, I would like to encourage all of you to save the date of September 14th, because on that day in the afternoon, I will be joining other presidents from Caltech, Arts Center College of Design, the Fuller Seminary, and Pacific Oaks College to discuss the important role played by Pasadena's educational institutions in driving civil engagement in our community. Pasadena Star News columnist Larry Wilson will be the moderator, and I'm sure it will be an enthralling, inspiring discussion. And the event begins at 4:30 in the Ramo Auditorium on the Caltech campus. More information will be provided later on as it becomes available by our very own Alex Buckelhide. At the end of last month, we were pleased to thank the retiring city manager of your home city, Trustee Wah, Mr. John Schaefer. Mr. Schaefer was presented with a certificate signed by myself and by Board President Wah that highlighted the important connections he has nurtured between the city and our college. Last Thursday, students and alumni from our Design Technology program took part once again in Art Center's Formula E competition last week. And we found out why it's called Formula E. Its Formula E stands for elastic, because all the cars are powered by rubber bands. It was very interesting to see how they use a drill to wind the rubber band, and by accident several of those rubber bands would just break and the participants couldn't do much with their cars. This year we were pleased to field 4 student teams and 3 teams from our alumni. Also, a big round of applause to everyone who took part in creating Pasadena City College's Equal Employment Opportunity Plan. Special thanks go to Julie Mosier and Charlotte Moore from Human Resources. Our plan, the Pasadena City College Equal Employment Opportunity Plan, has been recognized by the Chancellor's Office as a model for other colleges in the state and will be featured on the Chancellor's website in a forthcoming Best Practices section. The recognition is in response to PCC's efforts to meet new statewide standards aimed at encouraging compliance with diversity requirements. This past Monday was the first day of school for the Pasadena Unified School District students. And the students of PUSD in several of the schools were greeted by a group of 100 African American men who were present to welcome them back on their first day of school and wish them a successful year. This program was put together by our very own student equity assistant, William Sims, who was helped in that by our very own Dr. Christopher Jimenez E. West and our very own Tamika Alexander. I don't see Tamika here tonight, but Tamika Alexander was also, if you want, part of this program, and she was instrumental in making the program a success. The 100 African men were present at John Muir High School, McKinley Elementary School, Cleveland Elementary School, and Altadena Elementary School. We are very proud to see how the community came together to reach out and have an impact on young people's lives of our region. Next Friday, as you know, we will launch the start of the new year, and what we are hoping will become an annual tradition at PCC, our Convocation Ceremony. I will be joined by a host of college leaders, including our very own president, Trustee Wah, Dr. Foster from the Faculty Senate, Mr. Joe Futner from Management Association, Ms. Russo from the Student Senate, and then we will also have our union leaders, our very own Mark Whitlock, and then we have Richard Harsha and Gary Potts will be addressing the faculty and staff present on that day. We hope you'll be able to join us. There'll be lunch at 11:30 and the program will start at 12:30. And of course, the campus is getting ready for the start of classes, and we are all very excited that all the students will be here on August 29th. And this concludes my report.
Mr. President,
Yes, Dr.
can
Dahl.
I ask our president a question? I'm very interested in what you had to say about the 39 districts that can't meet enrollments. Do you have any ideas that why? Is it financial on the part of students, or are they going elsewhere? Or?
We do not really know what is causing that, but even in Southern California, there are several districts that are having this problem right now. And as Mr. Joe Simonesci and Dr. Stoughty will tell you, the fact that we were above our cap last year, with all the money that was left on the table, we do believe that we will be collecting additional money because of that, because the money has to be distributed. And even though we haven't received that money yet, our understanding is that we will be receiving some of that
It's
money.
very strange. Washington's really pushing community college education and bigger enrollments, and perhaps a free tuition eventually. But it's very puzzling.
Yeah.
To see this. Thank you.
Trustee Salich.
Yes, sort of following up on that, does this list, well, is the list out there someplace that shows what those
Yeah.
9 districts are?
Yes, the list is out there, and I can ask Dr. Stoughty to provide us the list.
Now, does the list also show for the districts that aren't in stabilization is the term of art?
Right.
Okay. If the districts aren't in stabilization, does it indicate how they're tracking, how the others are tracking?
It shows whether or not the districts are meeting the target, and if they're exceeding, how many they're exceeding by.
Yes, yes, okay, right.
Yes. And to go back to the question about, why are some districts not able to meet their targets, part of it is a result of the economy. So the state's economy is currently very strong. Our unemployment level is about 5%, which is very low for the state. And as the unemployment level goes down, more people are in the workforce, and they're not in the classroom taking classes. So that's part of the reason.
They don't have time to go to community college.
Yeah, they can get jobs
Yeah.
as opposed to taking classes. So when unemployment rates are high, that's when you'll see the trend of students higher taking classes so they can get equipped
That is true.
to get jobs.
Trustee Brown.
I did have one question, Dr. Verdeen. The 20,000, I think you said, students that we have. My question is, are these new students or returning students?
A combination of both. Of the new students, I don't know exactly how many new students how many new registrations we got, but what I know is that 47% of students who applied, have registered for classes.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Well, thank you, Dr. Meridian, and to your team for keeping us ahead of the curve. Good job. Okay, item U, announcements by the shared governance representatives and the Board of Trustees. So we have President Russo.
Good afternoon to the Board of Trustees, President Trustee Wall. Associated students participated last week in a retreat, a week-long retreat. We had the opportunity to go to UCLA for a ropes course, which was wonderful. We also engaged in other leadership activities, working together as a team. And now we've turned our attention to Welcome Week, which we are really looking forward to. We'll be giving away free things, promo to increase our brand as Associated students and also welcome students. And lastly, we're just looking forward to our first day back at school, the 29th. Thank you, guys.
Welcome back. Yes, Ms. Mitchell, Classified Senate.
Good afternoon, everyone. Last week, the Classified Senate also had a retreat at the Huntington Library, and it was very interesting, and it was successful. We are now in the process of reading reviewing the accreditation report, and we will have everything submitted by or finished by our next board meeting.
Thank you. Mr. Fettner,
I have
Management.
no report, but I'm looking forward to the convocation.
Thank you. Trustee Osterling.
A few weeks ago, Trustee Selvage and I attended a conference on master planning college facilities. And one of the things that I learned there is we're all aware that our U building is red tagged and therefore vacant. And that project is on the very top of the list for a statewide bond measure. And that bond measure now has a number. It's called Measure 51. So all of us here should be make sure that we rally and support Measure 51, which will be on the ballot this November. It's a $9 billion school facilities bond offering. 7 would go to K-12 and 2 billion would go to community colleges. And again, our U building is literally the top priority on that list. And we have other buildings that may follow along after that as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Martin.
Simply, I'm excited about the concurrent enrollment. One more reach out. Especially thank you for working with El Monte and Temple City.
Trustee Fellow.
Thank you. Last month I attended in Washington, D.C. the Association of Community College Trustees, their Governance Leadership Institute. I thought I knew everything, but I learned a lot. And they do speak very highly of PCC, and I got to meet a lot of other trustees. And we talked a lot about parliamentary procedures. I'm having some of you probably have it already, but Mary will give you the next meeting copies of what I got. I thought it was very interesting. And one of the trustees, which was very interesting, from Merced, is a Mason and part of the Eastern Star. And I didn't know this mansion existed in Washington, D.C. It's right at, very close to the White House. And it was owned by Congressman Parker, I believe his name is, for many years. And it makes the White House look like, a little apartment. It's a mansion that now it's part of the Eastern Star, and he's a member. And not many people go into this place, and it's just elaborate. There's only 3 gold leaf pianos in the world, and one of them is there. It was a very wealthy congressman. And it was very nice to see. But if any trustees who haven't been to this, it's worth going. So thank you for allowing me to go.
Thank you, Trustee Fellow. Trustee Selvage.
No, nothing to report.
Is this it here, Tony?
Yeah.
Trustee Hilsman.
Yes, just to say that I had a very productive meeting with the new chair of the PCC Foundation, Jim Sarney. And I think that they're taking a forward-looking approach to the capital campaign, and also looking at kind of diversifying some of the resources of the foundation to maximize the impact of the money that they raise. So it was great, and I'm enjoying my role as liaison there.
Thank you. Trustee Brown.
So first I'd like to say that I thought we had a very productive retreat this past Saturday, and I think we're all engaged and ready to work, as even harder than we have been working. So I think it was last week I joined Dr. Bell at a community graduation over at El Centro de Acción, I think is what they call it. And the graduation was for was about 30 construction workers that had the opportunity to take a 6-week class and learn the basics so they could get a better job eventually. And it was so wonderful. You would thought they were so enthused. They acted. You would have thought they had a master's degree. They were so happy. And I'm happy to see that PCC is actually reaching out in the community to help folks get better jobs. So I just want to thank Dr. Bell for that.
Thank you. Trustee Garipian.
So I attended a student trustee conference / workshop last weekend in San Francisco, held by the California Community College League. I met trustees from all over the state, from San Diego to cities I hadn't even heard of, and it's really interesting. Yeah, right. It's really interesting learning a lot about student trustees who have been doing this for consecutive terms, and the workshops were really interesting, and I'm really excited to implement some of the things I've learned onto this board, and I'm looking forward to the rest of the year. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I want to echo Trustee Brown's comments. I want to thank all of the trustees who, I think all of us and all of your comments made the retreat very successful. We have, I think that things that we learned will make us all better trustees and a stronger board. And I also just want to say that you know, I was at the DNC, and I'm just so proud that I feel like we're in the year of the woman. Today I attended the Emily's List luncheon, and women were very strong. Stephanie Shyrock from the Emily's List was there. And I just recently sent an email to Trustee Garupian, who I hope will share with President Russo, but Senator Ben Allen, who was a former trustee of Santa Monica K-12 and was also a LACSTA director, has been asking to build a stronger relationship with the community college students to get out the vote. So I hope that you will all get the students to move on that. Okay, so at this time, we are going to item V, the proposed future board meeting dates. We have a study session for September 21, and I believe we have agreed that that will be a goal-setting strategic goals meeting.
Trustee Wah, may I add something? Yes. On September 21st, it is a study session, but we will start with one business item only, and that is the approval of the accreditation recommendations that we will have to submit to the commission. Okay, just one item.
So is that any comments from the trustees? Any further comments? Otherwise, I assume that's okay.
Will we be discussing anything on accreditation at the meeting on the 7th?
Me ask Dr. Scott. Would we be addressing the recommendation on September 7th? We can give a presentation on that day. We have shared with all the trustees the updated version, right, of the... Okay. Right. Okay.
What is the date of the most recent version?
And it went out in that all staff email to everybody? Okay. So what I will do, we will send you a link to that, and then on the September 7th, we'll just bring you what we have changed to the report, right? The latest updates, right?
Okay, and then just to verify that on September 7th, we will have a second training for the board docs report. Is that correct? And that will
7th, yes, at
4:30, and it will be here at Creveling. So any trustees who want to attend again and have further questions after you look at the software a little bit more, and the trustees who weren't able to attend today could participate. Are there any other changes, any additions?
I just wanted to mention, we can talk about it on the 7th. I will not be here the 21st. I know that's kind of an important date, but I don't want to hold up the trustees, but we can talk then.
So perhaps if you have any items for the goal setting, Trustee Fellow, you can forward that to us. Okay, so I think that we are set on those future meeting dates. Are there any proposed future agenda items for any of the trustees? I do have a couple. So one is, I understand that the college attended the WEDPAC, the CTE workshop, and I know that you're working on a plan. So just whenever you have the timeline and you feel that you can present a plan, if we could add that to the future agenda items so the trustees will know when that CTE plan will be coming forward to us.
I do believe we can provide that sometimes at the first meeting in November. Mr. Davila, can we do that for the first meeting in November?
Thank you. And then I know that one of the comments that came up from the trustees at our retreat was what role does the trustees have in giving input into the strategic plans? Although we're doing goal setting and strategic goals on the 21st, is there a plan then to have will the trustees be participants in the strategic plan for the college, and when will that strategic plan be presented to the college? So maybe if we can have that for a future agenda item.
Last year's strategic plan, which went from 2015 through 2018, was mirrored upon the goals, the board goals and the college goals. And Ms. Crystal Colros is working on that right now, and will have a document that she will be presenting at the study session with all the board members to collect feedback to see whether we would continue in that same line, that is having the strategic plan of the college mirroring the board goals, or whether the board would like for the college to go in a different direction in the creation of the strategic plan. And Ms. Colros will be making presentations on that day during that study session.
Thank you, Dr. Meridian. I assume that's acceptable to all the trustees. I do want to give a shout out and a thank you to Coach Barboni, who sent a nice note with attached football passes for this upcoming season for all of the trustees. So hope that we will all enjoy that. Okay, so we are now at the point of adjournment. Thank you.
Linda, what's